Righty. Hey everyone. I have to start with not one but two disclaimers actually. One is, this is quite technical and abstract, and it's not as cool as a scooter. And the other thing, this is in fact the first time we show this, so it has to work 5 minutes in one go, and I'm very hopeful, fingers crossed. Let's quickly start by talking about the real-time web. The real-time web is a set of new technologies that allow you to build basically a whole new generation of apps. You've probably used some of them already, like Google Docs, for instance. You can edit the same document with a bunch of people. You see their cursors flying around. Slack, or basically any kind of messaging app, is another example. Video chat from browser to browsers as well, like Google Hangouts, Skype for Weather and the likes. There's also some way more business use cases, like trading apps, for example, where you see real-time prices from exchanges coming in, or the Internet of Things, most of all, like sensor data being processed and sent to dashboards. So this is all very cool, but there's one little catch, which is it's really hard to build. The kind of stack that it takes to pull off large-scale real-time apps is fundamentally different from what most developers are used to. And as a consequence of that, the developers that can actually do it tend to cost quite a lot of money. It's quite a long process, and even if you build it, running it, maintaining it, scaling it, can be quite challenging. That is until you use deepstreamhub. It's the whole, it's a backend for real-time apps, right? So it takes the entire backend thing out of the equation. You can just have it, it's a monthly service, and it will hopefully just work. It's based on deepstream.io. It's a real-time server that's completely open source. We built a thing, open sourced a couple of months ago. People seem to like it so far, which is very nice. But let me show you what it can actually do, right? So the techies amongst you might know this thing. It's called To Do MVC. It's a very simple app that's used to demonstrate what various frameworks can do. And basically, as you can see, all the changes I'm making are synced across all connected clients, right? And this works for everything. Now, it's a little bit lightweight. Let me show you another thing that's also connected to deepstreamhub and built with it. It's a full-fledged trading app with lots of, well, prices that used to be moving a second ago that kind of stopped now. Amazing. But the point is, it's powerful and capable enough to build quite complex apps. But here's the thing where it really gets quite cool in my eyes. deepstreamhub has a concept of channels. Channels are pre-built integrations with third-party services. So let me quickly show you what that looks like. So you get your usual dashboard, and this is a little bit off the left now, but you have to believe me on that. You get a whole selection of channels, right? So you get channels, for instance, to connect to workflow and management tools, developer tools, to IoT devices, shopping, and the likes. There's also a bunch of paid-for channels for like financial data, paid-for news, sports, gaming results. What I'd like to show you is just quickly adding a channel for Slack, right? So you get your choice of channels there. It tells you a little bit about what your channel can do. And if you're happy and want to add that channel, just click. It offers you usually a bunch of integration abilities. If you want to build a more advanced use case, you need what's called a webhook. So Deepstream will give you an HTTP address that you can tell Slack later on. For most of the simpler stuff, you can literally just click Add to Slack. It will ask you about the team you want to add it to. Right, you get to pick your the Slack channel actually that you want to use, authorize the whole thing, and it takes you back to our app, and it gives you one of those handles and says, all right, your app is now connected to Slack. That's all it takes. And here's what it does now. Bring up some Slack. I've been trying that out before. So now every single time I'm adding a new item, other stuff, it's sending it over to Slack, and that's a little thing I added before as well. Go away. This works vice versa. So for instance, if you register a certain trigger word with Slack, these channels are configurable. deepstreamhub can listen for that. I'm running out of ideas here. Hamster. And it will show up in your app. So channels are bidirectional as well. Bottom line, real-time apps, quite up and coming, hard to work with. This might be a backend as a service that solves that. Thanks. Yep. Oh dear. Oh, did you come all the way?
Do you handle offline synchronization between devices dropping on and off connections? I know it's a very hard thing to do. But
it is a very hard thing to do, and if you do data sync, which is one of the core concepts we're offering, it's crucial. The way it handles it is it asks you to configure merge strategy. So basically, what he's describing is you make a change, your connection drops for whatever reason, maybe doing it on a mobile. You make some more changes, other people are making changes at the same time, and once everyone comes back online, your state has diverged quite a bit. We ask you to configure a strategy like my right wins, your right wins. There is a more complicated merge thing which works extremely poorly, so I can really not recommend that, but we're asking you.
Thanks. You said it's a backend as a service. Does that imply that you also provide the database, or can I connect your thing to my database?
You can do both. So out of the box, all your data is stored in deepstreamhub. If you choose one, so it's a multi-tiered service, if you choose one of the higher tiers, you have the ability to actually connect your database to it. deepstream.io, the server itself, the open source server it's based upon, gives you the ability to connect to all sorts of databases. There's an abstract interface for that, and ideally your database is object-oriented. It doesn't make much sense to use it with the relational ones, but if you have your share of MongoDB or whatever, use it. What we do though is we also offer a RethinkDB integration. I don't know if you guys heard of that thing out of the box, which is a real-time database. So you can do queries against real-time data sets and get results when they change. And I brought everyone to death with that.
Hi, very nice. How do you compare yourself, or where are your advantages with Hoodie or Meteor, for example?
Well, against Meteor, we're a service. We give the whole thing for you. We don't have to build it. I think when it comes to comparisons, there are other things in the space, like Firebase, for instance, or publish-subscribe services like Pusher or Parse.com and the likes. We have two core differences to most of those. The first is we offer a number of different real-time concepts that you need, whereas most of these services only use either PubSub or DataSync. The other thing, it's based on open source. Now, this actually makes a lot of difference, since it means that you don't have to base the faith of your company on the faith of our company. Right? If you base one on the others, they might go bust, and basically your app is worthless. With ours, you can actually fall back on the open source thing, run it yourself, develop yourself, less technical risk.
How do you define real time?
See, that's a good one. It depends. We offer different tiers. For the free tier, it's everything is transmitted in less than 500 milliseconds. For the paid tiers, it's less than 100. For that, we have a bunch of data services, data centers. Well, we use it's running on AWS, and we're utilizing different regions to keep latency low. All right.
More questions?
Cool.
No more questions.
I like the design, by the way, of your dashboard.
Cool. No, I'm glad to have it.
What's your biggest challenge right now?
Scalability. It scales horizontally, and this all works well, but even with really, really good services like AWS, it's hard to orchestrate the whole thing in an auto-scaling manner. So everything obviously has to be monitored for trigger levels and the likes. It does work. It doesn't work as well as we would like it to yet.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Give him a hand.